Well, the good news here at Southend United is that we are finally starting to see some positive signs on the pitch, albeit only against sides we'd expect to see it against. However, this season is becoming a bit of a chore. We're being bogged down by constant injuries to key players. We've not been able to get a settled 11 together. But overall, we've found some new instant heroes, and those deadline day signings last time out, well, they made a big impact in our first two wins. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 57 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today to face Newcastle and Spurs over a 3-day period, and worryingly, we've then got bottom side Bournemouth at home at the end of the week, so we might have to do a bit of rotation during this episode. Before we go and worry about all of the action on the pitch though, we've got a lot to talk about off it. Injuries have been a key factor this season, despite the fact we've put a lot of effort into getting the least injury-prone option in certain positions throughout the summer. But for now, if you're looking forward to seeing how we're getting on, as we have won a couple of crucial games, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We're going to look through the medical centre, we're going to look through the schedule, and get into two very big matches. So let's start by having a look at who we've got out for today's games, because it's a pretty hefty list, isn't it? Both of our first choice fullbacks are out for multiple weeks. Our centre forward, who has become an instant hero after his deadline day signing, is also out for a couple of weeks. And Divin Mabama has been out since the last episode and remains the case for another month or so. Let's have a look at the impact on the schedule though, because it's definitely been a better time than the start of the season, but it's also not quite as good as it looks, because I don't know what it is in FM24. I know a lot of you have said the same thing. Once you get past the sort of 6th or 7th season, this spell between September and October, the two international breaks merge into one, and you just get 4 weeks off randomly. So we've had to get two friendlies against the best opposition we could find, and we've just nicked those games. But let's have a talk about the games that have mattered, because I talked about instant heroics, and we've certainly had it. You were with me for United and deadline day. We then got a crucial 1-0 win away at Plymouth Argyle in the Cup, with Christian Jaigel getting the goal. He actually was having to play up front despite being a centre midfielder, but after 12 minutes it looked like the right thing to do, because he did manage to get us the goal. Then the big win, the first points and the first goals in the Premier League season. Yes, our home to Norwich, a much more winnable game than the ones we'd had previous, but look who scored the opening goal. Rashid Adowu popped up. It basically hit him in the face 2 or 3 yards out, but it still counts, doesn't it? He got us off the mark, Fernandez added a second, and despite Norwich getting one back, he put a third in before half-time as well. So Rashid Adowu, an instant hero. We were then battered away at Forest and played awfully. A one-man show basically tore us apart in the first half, but we were without a lot of players then. Moving into the end of the month though, the biggest result of the season by a long way. At home to Southampton, the opening day of last season, where we had huge drama with Dan Rose saving that last second penalty. This time, Pablo Fornals, the last minute signing, the experienced addition. I said it when we bought in other players like March Loftus-Cheek. I don't care if he does nothing else for this club now. He has paid his wages by scoring that goal. 3 points, a 93rd minute free kick. Free kicks are never scored in this year's FM. He curls one into the top corner, and Pablo Fornals becomes the hero. He's not started a game yet. He's made 5 substitute appearances, and that one will forever be iconic, no matter what happens now. Into October, after that stupid 4-week break, we drew 2-2 away at Leeds, and again, it was the late show, because after our head coach hero, Ramiz Zarouki, got it to 2-1 for Leeds with 10 minutes to go, we pegged them back in the 95th minute, and I was punching all sorts of things when Diogo Fernandez put that in. Finally though, last time out, we did have a comfortable league result. A 3-0 win against Sheffield United, who went aggressive at half-time at 3 down, after Joe Hugill had finally ended his goal drought with a brace, and Martin Cox had got his second for the club. First league goal for us though. And then Joel Linton early in the second sent off for a stupid lunge, and we were able to see it out comfortably, as well as bringing on a few of the younger boys. Away at Leeds, we won on penalties, and it was fortunate as well. Diogo Fernandez missed his spot kick, but Fornell scored his, and again, another big moment for him. We also brought on some stars off the bench who contributed. Alfie Harrison started as a target man, then moved back into midfield during the game, and he got the 2 goals as the big boys delivered. The likes of Cox, Fernandez and Jigel, brilliant when they came on. So a wonderful effort there to come back from 2 down. Means we're in a Carabao Cup quarter-final against Liverpool. I'll feature that in the next episode, just in case we can do something special. But for now, it's all about Newcastle and Spurs. So let's go and see how we get on with what will be a weakened defence. There's no doubt in that. As we head through the tactical meeting, it is a big game against the 4-3-3 of Newcastle. We know what Jurgen Klopp's side are going to do. And we've got one of our head coach current heroes, Alex Scott, playing in midfield for them there. They've got a few of the originals too. Isaac playing off the right. We got 9 changes recommended because we rotated a lot in the cup. So let's go and get our team picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Right then, we are depleted at the back and we are depleted up front, but I'm trying to be very careful. I'm sort of treading lightly on eggshells with some of these people because we've got to protect them from injury. Teddy Ivanov is the only one I gambled on this summer who's got slight injury proneness, but even then it was slight. But he has just been one after the other this season. He must have had 3 or 4 already. He has had more than that. He's had 6. 4 of them have only been a few days, but he's had a couple of week ones as well, and 1 in training. Not ideal, considering how few there often are, as we've seen. So looking at the squad today, we have protected him. We're keeping him on the bench for this one. I want him fresh and firing ready for Bournemouth. And to be fair, Hugo and Fernandez are finding form, so it's a good time for them two to stay in. The big problem today is fullback, because Lejnik and Brookin are both playing, Ishmael and Adeniji both out, and Emir Williams is playing regularly at centre-half and improving in fairness, because we've been without Reece Williams due to injury a lot. So this is the team we've gone for in full. Is Caljo in goal with Brookin and Lejnik the fullbacks, Emir Williams alongside superstar Harrison Parker in the middle. Katatsuka is on the right hand side and finally starting to impress. Of course, a few of these boys were going to take longer to set in. Sam Ammo on the left with Cox and Jimenez in the middle. And then Fernandez and Hugo, the old guard up front. Let's see if they deliver again today. Well, here is a very strong Newcastle team. Plenty of changes for them from the cup game as well. Livramento, Tyreek Mitchell, Bruno Guimaraes and Canate all on the bench. They're starting the likes of Botman, Guehi. Have they raided Palace after a relegation? Isaac, Scott, Tonali, Frimpong, we know the quality. Let's just go and get through it. There's no pressure on us. We can enjoy the day. I'd really like to give them a bit of a shock and hopefully go toe-to-toe with them. St James's Park awaits for this big game. It's certainly huge for us, but there's no pressure. Can we deliver a big surprise? Here comes the long ball forward first, but it's straight to the centre-half for Newcastle. They play into Tonali. And as we saw at Forest even, and certainly in the early games of the season, we've not looked great away at the top half sides. This game could be another example of that. Ultimately, I don't care if we win enough of our home games to stay up comfortably and not have to rely on the last day like last year. But as this squad improves, I would expect us to get better in that sense. I do worry about the high wingers here though against our backup fullbacks as Isaac gets the ball in the middle. Zanelli out to Roque on the left-hand side, right, sorry. Brookin, who was out on loan at what level last year? Bottom end of the championship. And here he is, trying to defend as Botman puts it into Isaac. It's over the bar. There's a good player up there, but it's over for a goal kick. We've got Tim Robinson as ref again. I've just noticed it. Every game, I'm going to have to check. It feels like every game we have him. Fernandez finds Brookin. Tatsatsuka gets it into Hugill. Joe Hugill is back amongst the goals. He really struggled after that injury in November last year. This season he's doing it the opposite. He was rubbish for 2 months, but now he just can't stop. It's 3 in 2 games for him. We're 1 up at St James's. And that is a really big moment because we're not going to keep a clean sheet. So it gives us half a chance at a result. Although Tonali straight to Alex Scott. Great tackle, Parker. Roque back to Botman. In it goes again. There's the goal straight away. But was it offside? Because Isaac gets on the end of the through ball. It looked it to me, but nothing given. And 1-1 is the score with 15 gone. We enjoyed that lead while it lasted, and you can see we are getting absolutely roasted down this side. Brookin can't even clear the ball there. We knew it was an area we had to try and improve. We missed out on targets. It's one of those things. We can't just sign players for the sake of it. But we know where we've got to improve in the future, and back up right back is certainly an area. As that ball in is fantastic, Roque heads in, and it's Brookin who's beaten in the air again by the winger. I mean, we knew it was going to be a problem pre-match, didn't we? Who would have thought for a club like Southend United that you can't afford to have both of your fullbacks out injured? One of those things today. We're 2-1 down, and it's probably game over. As we've got to throw it right back with Brooking again. Plays a 1-2 with Takatsuka. The ball away is good to Joe Hugill though. And now we can maybe get on the break. Are we going to produce our own little 4-4 here? Sam Ammo down the left-hand side. Ball into the box. Fernandez there. Botman heads away. He's a giant. Takatsuka again. Across is blocked. And Alex Scott brings it away. Victor Roque, they're away here. Tonale to Alexander Isak again. Out to the right-hand side. Abdi inside to Tonali. He skinned the defender like he's not even there. And Caljo makes a very good save. How have we gone from having a threat in their box to nearly conceding in 10 seconds? It's not ideal. Tonali's got the corner kick himself. Into the front post. Emir Williams and Lejnik combine. And we get it away. The deficit is still just 1. But this Newcastle left, we're really struggling. I've got no one I can really bring on for Brooking as well. Carl Allsop, the youngster who was released by Newcastle last year, we got him for about 600 grand. He's the only one I can really bring on there. But that ain't going to improve us, I can assure you of that. 1 shot on target, 1 goal for us, but Newcastle dominant since. And now Hugo's picked up a twisted knee. We just cannot keep people fit this year. I don't know what it is with this curse, honestly. I'm going to have to put Ivanov on as the target man now. He is 6'1", he's decent in the air. Certainly not his prime position at all. But because Mabama's out, because Idoru's out, we are down to 1 out of 3 target men available. So it's either Alfie Harrison or Teddy Ivanov. I'm a bit worried about him playing more than 45 minutes. As Frimpong gets it to Abdi and now Tonali. Back again. This game is over, so I think we're not going to risk injuries, are we? Abdi on the right-hand side, back to Frimpong. Edge of the box for Zanelli. He goes back to Botman. Find Alex Scott. We don't like seeing him in an opposition shirt, and that's why. Brilliant football. And Caljo makes a good save. Corner kick as we go into 3 minutes added. Newcastle looking to get the game beyond doubt. As the ball's into the front post. Parker away. Back in again. Parker away again. Abdi to Alex Scott. Good switch of play to Tonali. Into the box to Roque. Parker away again. Botman gets there. We survive that one. But it's a Newcastle free kick just 2 minutes later. Tonali on it on stoppage time. Curls it towards the top corner. You're no Pablo Fornal, son. Good save from Caljo. Thank God he's having a good game because this would be out of sight if not. Tonali has got the corner. The voice is going. Into the front post. It's away again. But only as far as Tonali on the right. Good tackle. Lejnik out for a throw. He's done all right on that side. But half time is 2-1 to the host. We've been unlucky. We're doing as well as we can. I'm going to bring Alfie Harrison on for Martin Cox, who's nervous. We're just going to shore things up in the middle. Half time, 2-1 to Newcastle United. And that way we don't lose a sub break. Emir Williams gets it from the kickoff here. And it's into Jimenez in midfield. Another young player who's learning and developing. And he goes back to Parker, who finds Fernandez. On the right is Takatsuka, but Jimenez is making a run. Good ball into Ivanov. He's finally got on the pitch. And he's finally scored a goal. Teddy Ivanov with a brilliant run. Showing that despite being in a target man role there, he is very much an advanced forward. And God, after the slow start to the season, if we can keep people like him fit, we might have a chance against the bigger teams as Parker heads away yet another corner. And a rebound is straight into Caljo. That's what excites me about this year. Yes, we've not started brilliantly. We've picked up the points we were supposed to. And we've got big players to come back and get involved. When we were losing those games in the first month, Ivanov didn't really feature. Martin Cox didn't feature, and he's still not fully up to speed. Takatsuka and Jimenez hadn't learned any English. They're gradually getting there. And we're still without the fullbacks. We're still without certain people staying fit. We're without the target man today. As Ivanov's in again. Hits the post. Takatsuka's having a worldie. And if we can get our best 11 on the pitch for 5 or 6 games at full fitness and at full tilt, I feel we're a threat for anyone. I genuinely believe that. As Guahy's got a throw on the left, Newcastle will still be favourites here because defensively we're a mess. As Roque again into the back post, Emir Williams does well. Livramento in, Ivanov's back there. Clears it away, but only as far as Guahy. Tonali back out to him again. Guahy on the left. Chance to cross is back to the edge for Tonali, and now Tyrick Mitchell. And that is so stupid. Who's given that? Is that Brooking? It bloody is as well. Tim Robinson always gives penalties against us, but Brooking, seriously? He's a championship player sticking out like a sore thumb in a Premier League game. I'm going to take him off for Allsop regardless, because I'd rather give a youngster football than watch an old boy throw it away. We're also going to bring on Pablo Fornals for Sam Ammo, just in case we get a free kick, because we're going to need it when we're inevitably behind again in 10 seconds time. I presume it will be Alexander Isak, will it? It is. Up against Caljo. He's had a great game, but he can't stop that. It's 3-2 to Newcastle. It's such a poor goal to concede. And it was just a needless penalty to give away. Brooking has let us down big time there. With 15 to go, we've got Jimenez tired. We've got Fernandes struggling and tired. I don't think I've got anyone else who can go up front. I think I'm going to bring on Volsky for Fernandes. We'll go Takatsuka up front. And we'll leave it like that for the final 15 minutes. We're going to chase the game. We're going to be aggressive. But Newcastle have deserved to win. And with a stupid penalty given away, you could argue we don't deserve anything from it. But we're getting closer. We're competing. And with these boys, we've got a goal threat. The problem now is how long are we going to have the likes of Hugo out injured for after that? Teddy Ivanov gets a goal. It's not a hugely negative day for us, this. It's a good effort away at a very good team. The problem is we've got Spurs in 3 days and then the bottom side next weekend. Do I have to take team selection risks in midweek? And how bad is Joe Hugo's injury? Last year it was awful. Let's see what it's like this time. Well, defeat for Southend United, but Joe Hugo's injury, okay, it's 5 to 8 days. So like most of them, he's going to miss the next 2 matches. But we should have a fair few returning after the international break for the Wolves game. Hopefully Ishmael, Hugo and Adobu for that. And then Adeniji maybe a week or so later. Let's get ahead to the midweek fixture then. Tottenham Hotspur coming up next. Hopefully it's as entertaining a game as that one. Maybe we'll come out on the right side of it. Well, it's fitness test time, and you will not be surprised to see that those who are already out have failed their test, but we have got a big opportunity at home to Spurs. They're 9th in the league, they're a catchable side, but I'm also worried about the fact that Bournemouth won last weekend, and if we lose to them at the weekend, they'll only be 2 behind us, so it does leave a few questions to be answered, and we're seemingly the only midweek game this week. Why on earth are we playing an extra one? Oh, is it because of the stadium, isn't it? Because we're sharing with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. There's 35,000 in. I bet a fair few of them are away fans because it's been just over 20 most of this year. Let's get through to the team selection and see what we can do. Yeah, look, there's tired legs everywhere. Lejnik, Jimenez, Fernandes, Hugo's injured. We're going to have to rotate a bit. I'm going to gamble on my team selection today. We'll see you in a minute to run through it. Well, I think we're going to call this one a no-risk lineup. It is changes galore. The only people who keep their place are the goalkeeper, the 2 centre-halves, Sam Ammo, but in a different position, and Martin Cox in midfield as we keep building his fitness up. But overall, we've gone very different. We've chucked Sam Ammo up front. Jigel nearly played, but he'll be the sub there. And basically all of the tired players, your Jimenez, your Lejnik, your Adobu, all out of the squad. Fernandes is on the bench, but we'll try not to use him, and the same for Takatsuka as well. I do feel like it's becoming the end of an era for like Morehouse, who's played in every division from the National League, because he just can't get in the squad now. Even when we've got a backup 11, he can't really get in. And even on the bench today, in centre midfield, he's probably behind Smith and Jigel. But this is the 11 we've gone for in full. Caljo starts between the sticks again, with Allsop and Humphreys in as the 2 fullbacks. Doing the old Tony Pulis, 4 centre-halves along the back line. Parker and Williams stay in the middle. Volsky is in on the right-hand side with Fornals over on the left. First start for him with Cox and Harrison in the middle and Ivanov alongside Sam Ammo up front. We'll switch them over when we get into the game so the left footer is on his natural side. But let's go and get into it. At home to Tottenham and see if this surprise side can cause a shock. Hopefully Spurs have gone strong and we can catch them by having fresh legs. Well, Spurs, to be fair, seem to have gone for the same approach. They've made 7 changes with Hansi Flick, their manager, but they seem to have gone stronger, if anything. It's big players coming in, the likes of number 9, Jonathan David, Kulusevski, Porro originals, Mickey van der Ven's come back in, the skipper, Bentancur back in. It's a pretty strong Tottenham team, isn't it? We're going to say the pressure's all on them. We're going to switch our strikers round both in terms of roles and in terms of side, because left footer on the left, right footer on the right, and Ivanov will do the job as a target man again. Into the first half we go, Southend v Spurs. I'm not sure if playing a fresh team is going to help out here. It will certainly give us a chance against Bournemouth, which, quite frankly, is all that matters in our current position. Well, less than 2 minutes on the clock, and it's Spurs in possession as Jonathan David drops in to pick it up for Bentancur. He looks down the left for David. The right back's gone missing. Big deflection on the shot, and a rebound's in. Max Bayer scores it. The first save was decent, but Caljo palmed it straight back into trouble. Not ideal, really, is it? 5 minutes gone, Spurs 1 up. And here we are again, 20 minutes in with Jonathan David. This one feels a lot more like one of those games that we saw in the opening weeks of the season. And to be fair, we've got a patched together squad. Spurs squad on paper looks a lot stronger. As Bentancur on the edge to Kulusevski. Good block from Parker. He's been magnificent this season. And he's having to be because he's playing with a different defence every week. Kulusevski has got the chance to cross it from the right. In swinger to the front post. Harrison away. And Martin Cox will chase it down. Bayer gets there and Sam Ammo has pulled his groin. One of the only players I kept in the team because he was fresh. I'm not risking it. And I'm not risking Fernandes for that long. So Christian Jigel goes up front. He's actually a really good finisher. I'm going to switch them back now because he's a right footer. But he is the best finisher at the club, ironically. He's got a bit of pace. He's got the attributes to succeed as a centre forward. And today, he's going to have to try and do so. So Teddy Ivanov is going back to the left. Doesn't help me with that either because he's not doing 90, Ivanov. I do not want to risk him getting injured. Jigel's up front as the advance forward, and with 25 gone, injuries are telling a story yet again. Well, we're 10 to the break. The dominance continues. It's a corner kick for Kulusevski and Spurs. Into the front post is a wicked delivery. Allsop not strong enough in the challenge, and it falls for Kulusevski again, given ages to turn onto his left foot. And Caljo makes a brilliant save. Yet again, he is one of the strongest performers on the pitch for us, and he's having to be. We don't see the corner, but we're fortunate it's only one. And as we approach half-time, we're now, let's be fair, we're on our 4th and 5th choice centre-half playing as 2 makeshift fullbacks. We're on a centre midfielder playing up front. We've got a 3rd choice left winger who's come in to be an impact sub and a role model around the club. It's not an ideal scenario. We've just got to get through this game. And I really hope it pays off against Bournemouth as Wolski on the right-hand side finds Parker. Good football from him to find Wolski again. Just overhits the pass there to Jigel and we don't get through as Porro gets down the right. Great run. Cuts it across. Someone's got to throw themselves at it. It's a great effort from him, but nothing doing. And at half-time, are we going to make it a 1-0? We are. In the circumstances, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to say I'm disappointed so far because we've not played well. And I don't care if we lose, but I want us to play well. I'm going to drop Wolski to a support duty because he struggled on the right. Just to give a bit of help to Carl Allsop as well. We've got Emir Williams nervous at centre-half and struggling a bit physically. Reece Williams is back and fit on the bench, but I'm also looking at the weekend. I know I've got to take off Ivanov. I know I've got to take off Martin Cox. I'm not sure Fornals is doing 90. So if we don't get any further injuries, those 3 and Williams might be the subs. As Kulusevski gets in, can he make it 2? He can. And now I ask, do I take off for Harrison Parker or someone like that? And just leave Fornals for the 90. But with Sam Ammo injured, can I afford to do that? There are so many questions. Spurs are battering us. It's going to be a comfortable win. I'm not sure what we do with the rest of this. We're trying to enjoy the occasion, but it is all Spurs. That shot's over. What I am going to do, though, is take off Martin Cox for PJ Smith. I'm going to bring off Teddy Ivanov for... God, who can go up front now? I genuinely don't know who's left. It's only really Alfie Harrison, isn't it? Do I risk Ivanov for 90? I mean, he is fit. I'm going to do it. Teddy Ivanov's going to play 90, which might be stupid. Alfie Harrison will come off for Jack Morehouse. Fornals will come off for Robbie Allen. And Reece Williams will come on for Emir Williams, switching sides with Harrison Parker. Half an hour to go, we're 2-0 down. And a few of the youngsters are on. Just Ivanov, please stay fit. I'll give you a day off training and everything, as Williams at the back finds Parker. We have been doing a lot of extra work on team bonding, given all the new signings coming in and all the new nationalities. And so far that is working well. Definitely improved our performances last month. But there is a limit to this squad and the depth of it, as Ivanov does well there to find Parker, but he gives it away to Johnson with a really poor ball. Pedro Porro breaking away down the right. He finds Johnson again. Back to Ashley Phillips and inside to Bentancur. David beats his man Reece Williams, but Parker recovers and Caljo can play it long. It's a long highlight with nothing really to show for it though. Teddy Ivanov breaking forward, finds Jigel. He's a good finisher and he shows why. In a 500 grand midfielder that was a deal just too good to refuse, I didn't really have a place in the squad for him. Due to the injuries up front and due to his quality, I might have stumbled on a top striker for the future up front. He's got pace, he's got finishing ability. He does the job, you know. Ivanov is struggling, but if he can get through 90, that's big for us. And then he can go back on the bench at the weekend because Adowu should be fit. Fernandez should be fit. As Morehouse puts it in, can we nick a point? Allen narrowly misses out in the air. Could have been 2-2. Spurs are starting to throw this away here. And Johnson is under pressure from the skipper, but Ashley Phillips does well, finds Bentancur. And Tottenham back under control with Christian Romero into Vuskovic and back to Mickey van der Ven, who's now out on the left-hand side. Out to the wing-back, and it's back in again to Romero. Spurs just trying to slow it down and dominate possession. Pedro Porro inverted into midfield, finds the left wing-back. In behind they go, good block. Allsop away. That's Volsky helping out defensively now. That tactical tweak working, but they're still on the attack. Bentancur again looks down the left-hand side. Across the box to Kulusevski. And he nicks in front of Reece Williams, he's on his toes, isn't he? He's caught out and he's not able to get there. Stuck in treacle comes to mind. Kulusevski on his toes round the corner and he's in for 3-1. Game over, but at least we made a bit of a fight of it. And nice for Jigel to get another goal because even if he doesn't work out long term, it'll make us a profit on that 500k. As Sarr finds David, they're tearing us to shreds. Bringing Reece Williams on was a mistake, wasn't it? He has got nothing in the tank. I'm just going to change the fullbacks, I think. Let's go and make the tactical tweak. We'll put them on defensive duties. I don't want this to become a mauling. We've just built up a bit of confidence again. It's now going to be 2 without a win anyway. We don't need it to get any worse than that. So let's just sit in a shape for now. And make sure it's no more than 4 if possible. Spurs have been magnificent. We've been wasteful at times, but we have had an attacking threat. But overall, it looks like we're on makeshift fullbacks. It looks like we're on our 5th and 6th choice centre midfielders now. It really does look it. I mean, Morehouse has just abandoned the ball there and run away. Smith picks it up the skipper for Parker. Be nice to get another goal, make it a bit closer. Be nice for Ivanov to keep up the scoring streak, but just worried about him getting injured at the minute. As all find Volsky into Jigel. Oh, the flag goes up. It did look it from the initial ball down the right. The ball into the box was fine. It was the one from Allsop to Volsky that I think was off. He's got no excuse really looking along the line. Offside given. 4-1 it remains, but lovely football regardless. And we're going straight from the free kick with 89 on the clock. Papi Sarr, another of the originals on the ball. Jonathan David has torn us to shreds. And Pap Sarr finds the midfield partner again. Out to the right-hand side for Brennan Johnson. Taking on his man, but in the end forced backwards and Ashley Phillips wide to Johnson again. Good football from Spurs. Into Romero. Got a feeling this is going to be a 5th, haven't you? Back to his goalkeeper. Out to Ashley Phillips. Good football Spurs. Pedro Porro carrying the ball forward. Down the right-hand side to Johnson. Beats his man with ease. Humphreys, who's had a nightmare at left-back. First time he's ever played there for us, though, in fairness. And it's in for 5. Caljo again with the original save. Kulusevski puts in the rebound. I think we've seen here that our backup team isn't good enough. But this might be worth it against Bournemouth. If we win that game, this will be absolutely fine. I won't care what's happened. We came back to show you the tough games and we'll do so the next episode because I want you to see the moments of struggle. It's only fair. Next time out is City in the league and it's Liverpool in the cup as Volsky breaks forward. Jigel's in, he's onside. Can he finish? He does. Christian Jigel is going to make a very good striker. We're going to just keep him retraining there and make sure he delivers because if it wasn't for that offside, he would have had a hat-trick. It's 5-2 to Tottenham. We kind of expected it when we took the gamble on the team selection, but it's got to be worth it against Bournemouth, and that ultimately will be the deciding factor next time out as to whether it was the right decision or not. Not ideal having extra midweek games because we're of course sharing stadiums with Chelsea, but there's only a 1 year problem, then we're ready to go. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back, where, let's be honest, so far this season, we've picked up the points I'd expect to. Maybe disappointed to be hammered at Forest, but other than that, no real surprises. We've got a run of 3 games now that are very winnable, all with at least a week separating them, and Bournemouth, we should have everyone fresh now. But looking ahead to next month, it is rotten. Away to Chelsea, who are 7th, home to Arsenal 3rd, away to Everton 5th, away to Liverpool in the Cup, at home to City, who are top, West Ham are 10th away, Villa 2nd at home. Then even after that, United at home are 4th, Brighton away, they beat us on the opening day, and Liverpool away 11th, but we'll finish higher than that. The next 2 months are going to be rotten, so we have got to get points in these 3 matches. I want a minimum of 6, I've got to be honest with you, possibly 7 ideally. We're not going to worry about that for now though, because we are going to be back after 3 good games and 3 rotten games for a Carabao Cup quarter-final at Liverpool, I think the furthest we've got in that competition, and Manchester City at home in the Premier League, as we host the side who will probably run away with the title again. If you did enjoy this though, far more of an attacking threat, but not the best defensively when our first choice fullbacks are out, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. I'd rather be entertainers and have a go, and as long as we win those home games against the bottom half teams, we'll be absolutely fine this season. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we do, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with a massive summer transfer special in our head coach save tomorrow. We had a big finish to the last one yesterday. That's up in the eye above. You can also find our special investigation from Sunday up there too, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and some of the other key playlists. Thank you very much for watching though. I'll see you here again on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have picked up a few points. Maybe we can shock Liverpool in the cup.